What's going on, guys? It's Moving Soul back again with another review, and today we are reviewing Daredevil Season 2. This season I thought had its ups and downs compared to Season 1. Obviously, the ups are, if you've seen any of the promo trailers, you know the Punisher and Elektra are in the series, and they make the show really good. I felt the antagonist was kind of lacking, and it could have been a little bit better. Another thing I disliked was some subplots that ran way too long, and there was a romance in there. Not going to spoil it. It was really shoehorned in, and I felt it did not belong and should not have been in there, but it was anyway. And they tried to make it like a driving point in some instances, and I really disliked that. Like it's one thing to have romance that it or the relationship that it flows naturally, but this kind of felt forced and awkward in my opinion between Matt and another character. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to spoil it. Another thing I disliked about this was a lot of the stuff kept focusing on Karen Page and that character. Um, it felt like it dragged and dragged way too long, and she doesn't really contribute much to the series, in my opinion. It's kind of annoying. Her character is kind of annoying, in my opinion. And then that's another note is Foggy, the other Matt's friend, can be kind of annoying as well in some instances, in my opinion. But I digress. That's all up to opinion. Once again, I think Charlie Cox does a great job as Daredevil. He really pulls it off. Uh, the little what's the right word? The little he gives little subtle hints. Like I know he's not really blind, but he really does it good. You know, like oh he has to try a few times to see where something is, and it just works good when he's like in his when he's not his alter ego. It's really good. Another what is it? And then definitely the high note. John Bernthal as the Punisher, he nails it. He nails the role. Every time the Punisher was on screen, he stole the show, in my opinion. Whether it was action or just simply talking, there's some real good scenes between him and Daredevil that go really good. That basically their ideology, because Daredevil doesn't kill, where Punisher does kill. So obviously they clash. They're both heroes doing different ways of solving the justice, and Daredevil doesn't agree with the Punisher and vice versa, so they come into a conflict, and it's really cool to see how that unfolds. Like I said, the Punisher, John Bernthal, nails it. He really gets this sense of a flawed man that is on a mission to rid the world of evil as much as he can and to get revenge for the tragedy that happened in his past. Also, his ex girlfriend, Elektra, comes into the fold and he gets warped into that, helping her with this other personal vendetta. I really enjoyed the actress that played her, and I could really sense that, like their flawed romance that happened in the past into the future, or not the future, the present. I did enjoy this. Did the same season kind of thing. How in the first season they didn't outright do a story and then just go forward. They kept doing flashbacks every now and then, and they did it really good in my opinion. It didn't feel, at least in my opinion, it didn't feel awkward or shoehorned in. It made sense to have them in, and it wasn't really awkward to follow, like it was a few times in the first season. I thought was good. Like I said, I've probably talked about this, but I'll go over it again. The really lack of an antagonist. There was an antagonist. It just wasn't as good as my opinion in the first season, uh, because they're not. You don't really know a whole lot about them. Whereas in the first season, the main antagonist, he had his own flashbacks dedicated to him, and his character was kind of fleshed out a little bit more, and you got to know some of his backstory. Whereas the antagonist in this one, you really know nothing. So I don't have any compelling reason to care or anything. Like obviously, I'm not supposed to agree with him because of the villain, but I don't really have any build up to why they're doing what they're doing, and so that's disappointing. But let's see. What else to talk about? Like I said, definitely, and I'm already in the middle of watching The Punisher, which is the spinoff series of Daredevil. It's pretty decent so far, so I'll have a review of that. But like I said, this season, while good, it lacks a lot. It brings a lot of things. Like I said, Punisher and Elektra are definitely pluses, but it lacks a whole bunch of other stuff from the first season. The weight of a good antagonist and the pacing just feels a little off. Like it feels like there's so much filler in there. it's boring, and I had to drag through it, and so many times I had to force myself through it because there's certain plot lines felt dragged through, whereas the first season just kind of rolled through and it was awesome. But I digress. If I'm gonna have to give it a score, I'm gonna give it a score basically 3.5 out of 5 stars. Uh, I can't remember what I gave my first review, but 3.5 stars out of 5. I'll have to say it would have been 4 if it was less slow in some points, but I'll give it that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Uh, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and comment down if you feel like it. I'll see you next one. Peace. Bye.